The other day, while I was walking through Kroger, I saw this new game on an end cap that I had never seen before. It was called Throw Burrito, and the entire point of the game is throwing squishy burritos at each other. And I knew the second I saw it that I had some students who would really enjoy throwing some burritos at me. So I grabbed it on an impulse, and the first couple of times that I played it, I could not figure out how I was going to incorporate this super fun game into my therapy sessions because it's also a fast-paced game. But then it hit me. I have a stack of old highlights magazines that a friend of mine gave me a few weeks ago that I have been dying to use. So here's what I did. I had my student read through this Redwoods passage in the Highlights magazine. And as my student was reading, I went through and marked the words that that student missed. So these became the words that became our target words for this session. And I love using reading to obviously target speech anytime I can. So these are the words that I used. I was able to find a pattern. Okay, this student really needs to work on WR words. So word, world, warm. Okay, so those became our target words. Now, I have found that I actually really like using highlight magazines. You can see my daughter has colored in this one. Just because it's a lot of really easy or age-appropriate reading passages for this kind of younger elementary age. So, anyways, back to the Redwoods. We used those target words. I pulled out my throw burrito game, and I decided at the beginning of the session, while I was shuffling and setting up, my student read the passage. And then periodically throughout the game, you have to have these burrito fights. And every time we had a burrito fight, that would be our stopping point to stop and use our target words. So the first time I played this game, I couldn't figure out where the stopping point was. Like there's not a round, there's not a your turn, my turn kind of a thing. So that's what we did. Each time we had some sort of a burrito fight, we practiced the words. As my student progressed throughout the session, the words went from words to sentences. And then at the end of the session, while I was cleaning up, my student then read the passage again, really focusing on those specific words. And wouldn't you know it, the accuracy was much better the second time that we read through. So if you are looking for a really fun, silly game, I do recommend Throw Burrito, but you do have to get a little bit creative and you have to have pretty good management over your group of students. It's not going to be great for everybody. It's a very silly game, and if you're playing with a group of 4 second grade boys, you might have a hard time reining them in. But if you have a pretty chill group or you're playing one-on-one, definitely recommend it. And I think that you would have a lot of fun with it, and it would be a great addition to your game stash. And then one more quick touch before I go. I wanted to talk about the memorization passages again. I've mentioned them in several videos lately. And these are passages that I created to help my students that are at the articulation level, kind of at the end heading, using it in conversation and reading, helping them with those carryover articulation skills. Now, this is the last week we did this particular passage. And I wanted to show you again, it's kind of marked up. We went through all of the rounds because my student could say the entire passage. But how I got my student there was this time we drew pictures to help us remember the passage. So that was kind of my trick in our activity this week with the memorization passage, was creating pictures to go along with it. So, if we have not met yet, I know I should have introduced myself in the beginning. I'm Jessica DeVault. I'm a speech language pathologist, and I love to share activities from my speech room.